is Sjur Baardsen. I'm an associate professor at the University of Life Sciences in Ås, south of Oslo. I'm trained as in forestry actually, but also in economics. My master was in forest engineering or forest operations and techniques, while my PhD was more in econometrics applied to the forest sector.
I would like to ask you today, if you could send a message to the Europeans on the role of forests in achieving a greener economy, what would that be?
Well, I think there are several aspects. I think that the forests and the forest sector in total can contribute in several aspects. Maybe the most important thing or contribution is when it comes to carbon. We all know about the binding of carbon in the forest, but I think maybe even more important is the so-called substitution effect. That is when we substitute concrete and steel and other building materials with wood. Another important aspect is the use of bioenergy. The forests provide a lot of bioenergy, and the potential is quite big. I also think that we can in the future see new processes, biological processes within, say, pulp and paper making that we haven't seen yet, but are still to come. Finally, sustainable forest management, or ecological services, or multifunctionality. All three are important concepts. Basically, what I think will happen in the future is that we will put more emphasis on the public parts, the public services from forests, than the private goods that we have seen so far. Timber will still be important as an input to the pulp and paper industries and to lumber production, but we will also see the services coming from especially the recreation parts and the public health that is derived from this recreation. It is, though, quite difficult for the forest owners to develop this part of the economy, because it implies that they have to make marketable, non-marketable services.
If we're focusing on the citizens for a second, what role do you see the citizens having in this forest contribution? Like, what can we do as citizens?
Well, as citizens, we should be aware that because I wasn't expecting that one.
No, I was just wondering, because you were talking a lot about the role of the private sector and forest companies. But if we should bring it to a more citizen level,
okay.
If you could talk something about linking the forests and the citizens, what would that be?
Well, I think it's quite obvious that for the future, the public use of forests for recreational purposes will increase, and that is important, as I said, for the public health first of all. We have seen that in agriculture there has been some sort of rehabilitation of people. I don't think we will see the same in the forestry, but we will see the public health part.
Okay, good. We'll just keep it rolling, and then
you do it after.
We'll just cut it all in the end, because it's a lot easier than having 5 clips.
I understand.
So, okay, so the next thing I would like to ask you is this link between forests and tourism is quite obvious. What is the link between tourism and a more green economy in a broader aspect than just forests?
Well, first of all, I think we should kill the old saying that the greenest tourist stays at home. because then he's not a tourist. That's an important point. We have to accept that people are actually tourists. Most of us travel quite a lot. But what is important is that it matters where you go. Now, if you go together with a few other guys or people to the Arctic or Antarctic, which is very popular this year, by the way, your footprints, your ecological footprints, will be quite big. If you, on the other hand, say go interrail, your footprints will be very, very small. So it's a matter of organization, first of all. The biggest problem with the tourism is the use of energy, and that has to do with the transport from one place to another. The second one is the emissions coming from this, and in some places also we have some water problems. Not so much in Europe probably as in many other parts of the world, but also in the southern Europe, in some places the water could also be a problem.
If you should describe this green economy to someone as an expert, as an academic, if you should describe the concept of a green economy to European citizens, how would you describe it?
Well, I think there are many concepts, and there have been many concepts, around, but this green economy has come up then during the last years. I think I would put it as an economist. I'm an economist myself also. It has to do with efficiency first of all, meaning that given a set of input, how much inputs you have, how much can you get out of that, or the other way around. If you want to produce a certain amount, how can you do that with as little input as possible?